Well, hey folks. Yeah, sorry, it's been a while since I put out a video. I think since May, I think is the last time I put out a proper bike video. I am still working on all these stupid motorcycles. The two projects that I really want to get to, the Honda SL125 and the Goose bike, I haven't done anything with those since I said I was, back in May, I was like putting those to the side. I really do want to get back to those, but I just get distracted. And the biggest thing I've got distracted with is last fall I bought a truck, and unfortunately buying the truck made me able to buy a ridiculous amount of dirt bikes. I have all these dirt bikes. There's one over there, there's two over there. And so I bought all these dirt bikes, and now I have nothing to do with all these dirt bikes because I'm too big for most of them and I have nowhere to ride them in Massachusetts. And if I take them up and down the street, it kind of annoys the neighbors, and I don't like to do that. And if I'm being honest, all the fun went out of the dirt bikes about a week ago when I wiped out on one of them on the street, scratched up my leg, my lip, my forearms. I had no helmet on. I had a t-shirt on, so I got road rash. That was no fun. All of a sudden, riding a dirt bike became like, what the hell are you doing, Carl? You're 53 years old. I hurt my elbow, and that meant that I couldn't lift, quite as heavy at the gym, which sucks. Anyway, that's recovering. I think that was only a week ago. So, why am I saying all this? All right. So I have been working on motorcycles, and I have been executing that plan. Off the summary video, there was a bunch of bikes I was trying to get rid of, so I got rid of the XL600. I got rid of one KX65. I got another KX65, which I worked on. That's the one I wiped out on. And I got these other bikes. So this is a video about a KX60, which I bought. I bought like 3 KX60s I bought last fall. Why? I don't know. I just like to waste my money. So ridiculous waste of time and money on this KX60. I mean, trying to get the thing to run. I have 3 of them. 2 of them had engines. One was just a roller. Swapping the engines back and forth, trying to figure out why it doesn't run. Anyway, I'll just show you this video since it's one I made. So after this, I have some more dirt bike videos, and the CB550. I do want to get that together and get rid of it. Still working on that. And Mustang needs some work, and I haven't been able to really work on that because every weekend, like, it's beautiful during the week, and then every weekend it clouds over. And it's like raining out today. Today's Sunday. Kind of did the same thing last year. Anyway, I've rambled enough, so please watch the KX60 video. See ya. So I've got this crazy little bike here. It is a 1984 KX60 that somebody converted into this wacky trike thing. And it is a total death trap. I don't know if you've ever driven a trike, but they love to flip over. It did run. I don't know that it ran particularly well. I tested the compression. It's got about 140, which is certainly usable. Probably needs the carb cleaned. Who knows what the gas looked like. I got it October of last year, so let's say 9 months ago. I got a bunch of KX60s, so I got this one, which has been chopped up and made into some kind of street racer. The frame has kind of been modified. I got this one, which the frame was also modified, and that's just a roller. But I believe it did have good forks, and the tires actually, the wheels, looked okay. So it was my intention between the 3 of them to try and make 2 good ones. and maybe one do a complete restoration on it. So I think this one, the frame is good, but the swing arm has been mangled. I have an extra swing arm. That street racer thing, the swing arm was mangled also to make it a street racer. It's totally useless. It did run just barely. Just the compression had 170, so it's got really good compression. Someone has done the top end on that one. But it's, what are you gonna do with it? I mean, you can't drive it on the street. So, what I'd like to do is, so they've been taking up space in my trailer. And what I'd like to do is try to put one together as a KX60 that just runs, start it up, drive it, and get rid of it. And then the other one, take the pieces apart and put them up in my attic and get them out of the way, and I'll do that restoration later. Later I'll restore one of them. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to try to take the suspension components off of this roller and use them here for this one. I'll take the trike stuff off of this and try to make this back into a KX60. So I think I can just take the back part of that and slap it in here. And I don't know about the chain. Probably I can take the chain off of that one. Or I think I have a chain over there somewhere. So I can make a chain. And then this one should run. So I just kind of clean it up a little bit and go, make sure it goes up and down the street and then just get rid of it. I don't know what I paid for this. I think I have it written down somewhere. Hopefully not much. But yeah, I'm trying to like get rid of some motorcycles. Yeah. So why don't I do that? So I'm going to take get the chain off it, disconnect the shock, and then take the bolt out, and the whole rear end should slide out of it, and then I'll probably just throw that out. And yeah, and then I'll take that one apart. That should be pretty easy. And okay, let's see how it goes. So the swing arm that I took off the roller, the swing arm bushings are toast. Totally unusable. I could just stick it back in there, but I don't think I want to do that. But the trike rear end, that swing arm, those bushings are good. So I can take those out and transplant them into this one with my press. It'll take a few minutes, but I can do that. So I looked in this box over here, and I know that I had bought one swing arm because I knew I needed one for the trike, but I had bought two swing arms. And I think this one has good or usable swing arm bushing, so I don't have to go and transplant that right at the moment. So I should be able to just grease this up and stick this one in there. Alright, well I greased the rear wheel bearings. I don't have a lot of hope for them. I put some new brake pads on, which I had in stock. Same as KDX 80. Grab the brake hardware off the Street Racer one. Oh, come on. Nothing's easy, is it? So it's this thing right here. And this has been bent in. all me. Of course it's not going to go on. Alright. Yeah, so I took the KX60 carburetor apart. It's pretty clean. I'm just going to blow it out with some air. It ran kind of crappy. It was smoky. Actually, I'm not even sure how it ran. It ran. I drove it, but I was so in peril of flipping over every 2 seconds, and that rear end wasn't hooked up right. We're just going to have to see. So I'm going to blow the carburetor out, and I'm going to put gas in it, and see how it goes. Alright, I'm going to try to start this thing. You need a spark plug. That would help. Alright. Back brake isn't working. So I'm back on this 1984 KX60. Wasting more time on it. And I'm wondering why it runs like such crap. It almost feels like it's the exhaust is clogged. So, or maybe, I don't know, I mean, who knows, maybe bad valve seals, but not valves, there's crank seals, but I'm not sure, that's just a guess. What I do know is that there's no oil in it, and looking under where the drain plug should be, there's like this thing with rubber and gasket sealer all over it. So I suspect that the oil all leaked out. But one way to tell if you have a bad valve crank seal on the right hand side is if you put oil in it and you run it and it pours out white smoke, then it's probably motor oil being sucked in from the clutch area into the combustion chamber through the crank seal. So I was going to put oil in it, even though I know it'll probably leak through that drain plug thing, just to check. And I also wanted to pull this baffle out, if I can get it to come out, to see if the baffle is what is restricted. Maybe the baffle's restricting it, and that's why it's running like such dog shit. I don't know. Yeah, don't know if I can get this to come out without ruining it. It's very old, I'm sure. Oops. I don't think this would be a restriction because this just goes right back all the way down to the header. So I think this might be a waste of time to try and get this off of here, because I can see, yeah, it's got a clear path going all the way down. So that would just be a waste of time, I think. I have another carburetor from the other engine that's over there, the Speed Racer one. So the engine that's in this one had 140 compression, which should be enough to run. That one had 170. But when I ran that one, we did get it started. The clutch was locked up. And it ran like garbage also, so I don't know if if that one's going to be any good either. I'm going to restore the other one. So my idea was to take the worst engine and keep the worst engine, rebuild the worst engine, and have the better engine go with this one. But, you know, it runs like garbage. What should I do? Well, there's no huge downside to putting oil in it, I guess. I guess I could do that. Alright, well that made no difference at all. So I'm going to try and swap the carburetor from this one with the other engine. Let's see, that's just a quick thing you can do. And see if that makes any difference. Alright, well, we'll try that. I don't think that's going to make any difference at all. I don't know. Seems when it's colder, it actually runs a little better. And then when it warms up, it just dies. It like dies. You can barely get it going. There's a little bit of power in the mid-range. But otherwise it's just a turd, and it like cuts out. It's almost like it's almost like it's fuel, but I don't know. It's kind of blowing a lot of smoke. I'm not sure what's wrong with it. Could be crank seals, but I don't really know. Definitely doesn't seem to want to idle once it warms up. Alright, well this is the other KX60 engine. And I know the clutch is locked on it, so I need to take the clutch off and clean it out. And I noticed that where the oil plug is supposed to go is a heap of what looks to be JB Weld. So that ain't good, but I guess that means that if you want to change the oil on it, you have to take the clutch cover off, which I'm going to do right now anyway. Oh yeah, dusted up. Junk. Alright, I think I have one of these clutches up in my attic, so I'll go see if I can find that. And I think I will just wire wheel these and clean up the marks, reuse the steel plates. They'll probably be just fine. And I have to clean up the gasket surfaces. I think I have this gasket. Pretty sure I have this gasket. Yeah, alright. So I need to go find some parts, do a little cleaning. Alright, so I cleaned up the steel plates. They look pretty good. Let's put the clutch pack back together. So I've done a bunch of these. There's that thrust washer and this part. It was kind of rough taking the Kickstarter shaft out of this cover. So I'm going to change out this seal because I have a bunch. Alright, so surfaces are all cleaned up here for the clutch cover. And what I've been doing is putting grease on both sides of the gaskets now instead of sealer. I got this from Roadkill Garage. And it seems to work. I mean, I haven't had any problems with leaks. And if you have to take the cover back off, as where if you put sealer, you'll ruin the gasket, and you can't reuse the gasket. This allows you to reuse the gasket. You can just clean the grease off. Right. So that's all set. So I've got my clutch actuator in there. Kickstarter's all back in. I think I'm ready to go. Put the cover back on. Okay. Got my locating dowels. I clean this up, put the new seal in. Nice. Right. Yeah, well, the KX60 new spark plug, it actually was better, but not, it still doesn't rev up correctly. I'm going to try changing out the coil. I don't know if it'll do any good, but I'm going to try it. Carburetor. Well, the carburetor fixed the KX80, although it needs to be jetted. So I was like, maybe it's a carburetor on the KX60. I tried two different carburetors; they seem to do the same thing. And then I have a plethora of KDX80 carburetors, and it looks like it's the same body. This little guy here, and then I was like, I got this KX65 engine all apart, and had the carburetor for the KX65 sitting over there. So I looked at it, and it's the exact same thing. Probably jetted a little bit differently. And sure enough, I took the KX65 carburetor, put it in the KX60, bottom end, middle range, no problem. At the very top range, like very high RPM, it breaks up a little bit, but it's got tons of power, just bombed up and down the street. It's almost as fast as the KX80. So, I guess what I'll do is see if I can just buy a KX65 carb or a KX60 carb and stick it in here and be done with this one. But actually, I probably will switch it back to the other engine, since there's nothing wrong with the other engine. Yeah, and then I'll leave this engine for the restoration one that I'm going to do later. Yeah, well, I'm swapping the other engine into the KX60, and it had an oil leak, so we came up with this, you can see it, flashlight, anybody? So there's like a bolt put through. The original hole for the drain bolt is just hollowed out, and they had like some kind of a weird plug in here that was leaking. So I put JB Weld, and I put a 6mm bolt with a flat washer behind it, and tightened it all up, and let the JB Weld dry. That's my solution. That means that if you want to change the oil in here, you have to take the cover off. But that's okay, because it's not, it's a two-stroke, so this oil is not exposed to the carbon, so you never have to really change it. And yeah, I'm not showing all the work. I took the clutch apart and cleaned off the steel plates. They were kind of rusty, although the clutch did work. And yeah, I'm just putting it back together now. Okay, so thank you for watching the KX60 video. I wish I had the better ending for it. I don't. I just wanted to get a video out. I still have it. I swapped the engine back and forth. So at the end of the video, the video starts that has one engine in it, and that engine had 140 psi. There was a street racer KX60 that had 170 psi. So I had swapped the higher compression engine into the KX60, and it didn't make any difference to the way it ran. I figured out that it was the carburetor. I don't know what's up with the carburetor. The carburetor has both of the carburetors I tried, they have the proper jets that the bike would have come stock with. Why it doesn't run properly, I don't know. from what I've found on researching it, when it makes that sound like blah, 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 like it's hitting a rev limiter, that means it's too rich. So for whatever reason with those carburetors, it was running too rich. So I got another carburetor, and it seemed like it fixed it when I would swap the engine there and swap the carburetor to the KX65 carb. But then I swapped the 140 psi engine back into it, and I had not noticed that when I put oil in that engine, it started pouring smoke everywhere. Well, sure enough, it poured smoke everywhere, and I noticed when I was in there cleaning the clutch up that the shifter drum was not in very good shape. And so when I put the thing back together and I put oil in it, it would have a hard time going into first gear or second gear. I think it was first gear. Like just trying to get it to go into first gear, it wouldn't always go in. Sometimes you have to start in second. So that was no good. So then I took that engine. I did a bunch of work on that 140 psi engine. Took it back out, put the 170 psi engine back into it, put the KX65 car back in, drove it, and it had the same kind of problem. So I bought a jet kit, and it's like I said, it's been raining every weekend. So that one is in my trailer, waiting for it to stop raining so that I can put the proper jets back in it. And then I'll get rid of it. And it's not worth much. It's worth like $500. So I probably have spent $700 on it, 800 to get $500 for it. So it's just wasting my money. The KX65 project, I have tons of video on that one. That one, like I said, I got it running and then I wiped out. The bike is fine. I was not. Actually hurt my elbow and road rash. I had more and more bandages all over me, looking ridiculous. Anyway, yeah, so that's that video, and next week I have plenty of other video footage. I have a KX80 project I was working on. I have video from that one. I have the KX65. That'll probably be 2 different videos. I have more footage from working on the CB550. I'm going to shoot some more of that one today and try to finish up putting the engine together. And then I'll be able to put one of those videos out. So hopefully, I'll put out a video a week for maybe 3 or 4 weeks to kind of catch up. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.